I used to think love was about giving, about showing up even when the other person stopped noticing. My name's Daniel, and for most of my marriage, I convinced myself that patience was the same thing as strength. That's what I told myself whenever Hannah rolled her eyes, dismissed me mid-sentence, or walked out of the room while I was still talking. We've been married 8 years, and somewhere between the birthdays and the bills, I stopped existing as a person and started existing as convenience. I handled the groceries, fixed the leaks, took the car in, picked up her mother from the airport. Hannah used to call me her rock. Now she just called me when something broke. It started small. She stopped saying thank you. Then she stopped asking how my day went. Then one day she just stopped looking at me altogether. I thought maybe she was stressed. Maybe work was too much. So I tried harder. Flowers, dinner, little surprises. But every gesture met the same tired look, the same half smile. Daniel, you're too much sometimes. Always trying to fix things that aren't broken, she said once, eyes never leaving her phone. But things were broken. We were broken. One evening, I came home early. The house was quiet except for her laughter. Not the polite kind she gave me, but real, warm laughter I hadn't heard in years. It came from the kitchen. Curious, I stopped by the door and froze. She was on a video call with her friend Claire, wine glass in hand, still in her office blazer. Honestly, Claire, she said, rolling her eyes, Daniel is such a fool. He just takes whatever I throw at him. I swear he'd apologize if I burned down the house. Claire laughed, and Hannah went on, smirking. He's like this doormat. I can walk all over him, and he still asks if my feet hurt. They both laughed louder. And I stood there, right behind her, listening to the woman I loved mock the very heart I'd built my life around. My stomach twisted, but I didn't say a word. I just watched her sip her wine, glowing in her cruelty, oblivious that her words were cutting through me like glass. When she hung up, I quietly backed away, heart pounding. I didn't confront her that night, or the next day. Instead, I started noticing more how she smiled at her phone, how she guarded it, how she dressed up for work drinks. It wasn't jealousy anymore. It was clarity. That weekend, she caught me looking serious. "You're not mad, are you?" she teased. I smiled. Not at all. Inside, something had shifted. I wasn't angry, just done. Over the next week, I started preparing quietly. I stopped transferring money into our joint account, copied important documents, called a lawyer, but outwardly, I was still the same calm Daniel she expected. Her fool, her doormat, until the night everything changed. She came home late, smelling of perfume that wasn't hers, tossed her purse on the table without meeting my eyes. "We need to talk," I said. She sighed. "If this is about dinner again, Daniel, I'm tired." "No," I said. "It's about you calling me a fool." Her head snapped up. "What are you talking about?" "I heard you, Hannah. Every word. You were laughing about me with Claire." Her face drained. "You heard that?" "Yes," I said. "And you were right about one thing. I was a fool. Daniel, it was just a joke. Claire and I talk nonsense sometimes. You're taking it too seriously." I looked at her, really looked at her. The woman standing in front of me wasn't the one I fell in love with. Her eyes were sharp, defensive, ready to twist anything into an excuse. "Right," I said softly. "A joke. Except the punchline was my life." "You're being dramatic." Maybe I was once. The version of me that begged for understanding, that waited for affection like a starving man waiting for crumbs. But that man was gone. "You don't have to worry about me being dramatic anymore," I said. "I just came to tell you I'm leaving." She frowned. "Leaving? Daniel, stop acting ridiculous. Where would you even go?" "Anywhere," I said. "Somewhere I don't have to apologize for loving someone." "You're overreacting. You can't just walk out because of one stupid conversation." I took a breath, calm as ever. "No, Hannah, I'm walking out because of every conversation you didn't want to have. Because you stopped seeing me years ago, and I was too blind to notice." For a moment, she was speechless. The silence stretched, heavy and final. I grabbed my bag. It had been packed since yesterday. She hadn't noticed. She never noticed much anymore. "Daniel, wait," she said suddenly, panic flickering in her voice. "You can't just... What about the bills, the mortgage, the car?" "I already transferred my share of the house to you," I said. "You always said it felt more like your home than ours." Her lips parted, but no sound came out. "I just want peace," I said quietly. "Something you stopped giving me a long time ago." And then I walked out. The night air hit different that evening. For the first time in years, my chest felt light. Not because life was perfect, but because I had finally stopped trying to fix what was never meant to be fixed. I moved into a small apartment across town. Simple place. Bare walls. One chair. Quiet. But peace has its own kind of beauty. Weeks went by without a word from her. Then one morning, she showed up at my office unannounced. Her hair was unkempt, her eyes red. She looked smaller somehow. "Daniel," she said softly, "can we talk?" I nodded but said nothing. "I didn't mean what I said that night," she began. "It was stupid. I was angry at myself, not you. I didn't realize what I was losing." Her voice trembled, and for a second, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. "You know what's funny, Hannah?" I said, "I used to pray for this moment, for you to see what you had. But now that it's here, I don't feel anything." She stared at me like she didn't recognize the man standing in front of her. "I just want another chance," she whispered. "I gave you 8 years of chances," I said gently. "You call me a doormat, and you were right. I let you wipe your feet on every piece of kindness I had left. But I'm not that man anymore." Her tears came then, quiet and desperate. "Please, Daniel, don't do this." "I'm not doing anything," I said, picking up my coat. "I'm finally not doing something, and that's the difference." I walked past her and didn't look back. That night, I sat alone in my apartment. The phone buzzed with messages I didn't read. I made dinner for one, watched a movie I'd been meaning to see for years, and laughed at a scene that actually made me laugh. It felt foreign at first, then freeing. For the first time in forever, I wasn't someone's fool, fixer, or afterthought. I was just me, and that was enough.